As tensions rose, our forces prepared for a strike that could shift the battleground's balance. Intelligence indicated a decoy command post near a colossal underground military depot, a target that could cripple the enemy's operations. But a critical observation just before the attack unveiled unsettling discrepancies. The enemy had set a trap, a ruse to exhaust our valuable missiles. They underestimated one crucial element: our scouts are expert analysts, not mere watchers. This deception was about to be uncovered at the last moment. Imagine the pulse of the reconnaissance operators, their eyes glued to the screens filled with high-resolution images of what appeared to be enemy armored vehicles perfectly aligned, devoid of the usual chaos of war. No dirt, no signs of wear. This set off alarm bells. The drones captured thermal readings that revealed an eerie absence of heat from running engines or signs of personnel movement. The underground entrances seemed sealed, betraying no signs of recent activity, strange for an alleged supply hub. Upon closer inspection, those tanks weren't made of metal but were mock-ups, wooden frames cloaked in camouflage netting. The realization hit: this was nothing but an elaborate facade. The electronic surveillance indicated powerful jamming signals, suggesting the enemy was covering their lack of genuine activity, a ploy designed to distract us. The intelligence team convened urgently, the conclusion clear: we were about to waste precious resources on a phantom target. With ticking clocks and mounting urgency, the commanders directed their focus toward a newfound area. A patch where actual military equipment had been spotted bustling about. Hauling trucks and armored vehicles revealed their operation was in full swing. This area, previously overlooked, now became our primary objective in a race against the clock. While the preparations for the initial strike were almost complete, a sharp pivot was demanded, recalibrating our targeting systems in record time. History was on the line. A risky move, redirecting missiles away from the planned target, would require precise technical adjustments and additional checks. But the stakes were high. The coalition's supplies from allies were arriving there, indicating a significant enemy operation. In a stunning tactical moment, our forces maintained the ruse of attacking the false command post. Radar signals and electronic warfare maneuvers simulated the impending strike. The enemy, fooled by the misleading signals, concentrated their air defense resources on the dummy location, leaving the real target woefully exposed. Suddenly, our strike drones sprang into action, targeting enemy radar systems, crippling their defenses and priming the battlefield for the missile strike. Among these missiles was an old model reconfigured with modern guidance technology, proving capable of hitting the target with remarkable accuracy. The aftermath? Catastrophic destruction. Explosive forces ignited untold ammunition within the depot, unleashing chaos. Flames surged, engulfing not just surface-level structures but unraveling underground facilities crucial to enemy operations. The veritable arsenal of aggressive new weapons, previously unknown to us, went up in smoke. What could have been a costly failure transformed into a monumental victory. The enemy, ensnared by their own trap, was left reeling, unable to quickly assess the magnitude of their losses. Their plans crumbled in the wake of our strategic ingenuity, echoing the effectiveness of our intelligence and adaptability in the face of deception. In this tactical chess match, one question remains: how far will the enemy go to safeguard their secrets, and what other surprises await? The battlefield of war is ever-shifting and fraught with concealed truths. Every glance, every piece of intelligence, holds the power to change the entire narrative. In the previous part, military strategists prepared for a critical attack, meticulously analyzing satellite images and intercepted communications to pinpoint the optimal time for their strike. However, doubts arose as the initial reconnaissance data suggested something was amiss. As the operation drew near, questions about the true nature of the target began to surface. The objective was straightforward: deliver a precision strike that would disable the target and thwart any possibility of recovery. Hours before the planned assault, military personnel conducted a final confirmation check on data accuracy, sending in several drones equipped with high-resolution cameras and thermal imaging devices. Operators were tasked with documenting vehicle movement, personnel activity, or any signs of operational status. Yet, as the initial footage came in, it raised immediate alarms. The military hardware on the ground looked unnaturally pristine. Tanks and trucks lined up in perfect symmetry resembled a showroom display rather than a battlefield. The absence of dirt, wear, or battle damage sent shivers down the analysts' spines. Further scrutiny with thermal imaging raised eyebrows even higher. The devices failed to register the telltale heat signatures of active engines or ventilation systems. Underground entrances supposed to lead to the main complex appeared sealed, with no indicators of recent use. The cameras captured no signs of personnel movement. For a facility considered critical to enemy logistics, it was all strikingly odd. Maximally zooming in, the drones revealed a shocking twist. What looked like military vehicles were mere props. Analysis highlighted that these tanks and trucks were wooden frameworks draped in camouflage nets. The surfaces of some materials reflected artificial glints typical of painted wood, not metal. This revelation marked a turning point. It was evident that the target our forces prepared to strike was nothing but a decoy. Additional intel from electronic surveillance deepened suspicions. Powerful jamming signals disrupted the function of our drones, suggesting the enemy was deliberately generating background noise to disguise their lack of real activity. It became apparent that they had anticipated our potential attack, either evacuating the genuine target beforehand or ensuring it never existed in the projected form at all. The command convened an urgent meeting. The conclusions they reached were unequivocal. The enemy had manufactured a false target designed to waste our costly missiles. Could this be part of a larger strategy aimed at depleting our resources? Time was running out, and plans needed immediate adjustment. As analysts deliberated their next move, drone operators continued to monitor surrounding areas. What could they uncover that would change the tide of this deceptive encounter? Previously, we uncovered a trap. The target we were about to strike was a decoy. Electronic intelligence revealed intense signal jamming, deliberately designed to confuse our drone operators and hide the lack of real activity. The enemy wasn't just aware of our plans, they were orchestrating a deception to drain our precious missile reserves. This meant the real site had either been evacuated long ago or never existed as claimed. An emergency command meeting was called. The conclusion was crystal clear. The opposition set a fake target to force us into wasting expensive munitions, a strategy to exhaust our resources. Time was running out. The plan needed swift revision. As analysts debated their next move, the drone pilots scanned surrounding areas vigilantly. Suddenly, dozens of kilometers from the bogus site, unexpected signs of life emerged. Drones captured large clusters of troops and armored vehicles. Images showed trucks, armored carriers, and bustling warehouses with constant movement. To confirm, command instantly requested cross-checks against local intelligence sources. On-the-ground reports verified this area housed a massive storage complex, recently stocked with significant cargo, including deliveries from the enemy's allies. The drone spotted fuel tankers and crates full of ammunition, with an ongoing logistical operation underway. All evidence pointed to this being the true target, hidden away from initial reconnaissance. Now, command faced a brutal choice. Rockets were primed for the decoy site, poised for launch, and seconds slipped away. Yet, new intelligence demanded an immediate shift in focus. Changing the target at this stage was risky. Guidance systems required rapid reprogramming, and fresh verification was critical. Still, the decision was made to strike the real objective, despite severe time constraints and uncertainty. But as preparations went underway, could the enemy's trap unravel into an unexpected victory? Or did the clock silently edge toward disaster? Summary: following the detection of deception, the operation plan was adjusted to target a new objective. Despite time constraints and uncertainties, command decided to act quickly. The moment deception was unveiled, the plan pivoted dramatically. Fresh coordinates of the supply complex were fast-tracked into missile guidance systems. But this wasn't just a flip of a switch, it required careful recalibration. Precision was paramount, as terrain features and trajectory obstacles needed thorough analysis. Technical teams scrambled under pressure, double-checking every detail to eliminate potential errors. Meanwhile, strike drones were integrated into the operation, tasked with neutralizing enemy detection systems to boost the strike's chances of success. The choice for a combined assault came with inherent risks. Time was ticking. The complex held strategic value, and hesitation could allow the enemy to regroup and respond effectively. To maintain an element of surprise, tactical deception was employed. Troops continued simulating preparations for an attack on the fake target. Radars near the original coordinates hummed to life, creating the illusion of an impending assault. Electronic warfare specialists conducted a flurry of simulated missile launches, producing brief impulses that registered on enemy radars as rapid rocket trails. This convinced the enemy that their disguised command center was in jeopardy. Consequently, air defense forces were diverted to the false target, leaving the real supply complex largely undetected, a tactical oversight. When the strike on the real objective commenced, it caught everyone off guard. Intelligence revealed that the supply complex lacked robust air defense coverage. The bulk of the enemy's defensive measures were already lulled into guarding the simulated target, creating an unexpected window of opportunity. The strike drones were the first to engage, programmed to destroy radar stations and detection systems. Equipped with precision munitions, they effectively crippled key infrastructure components. This significantly diminished the enemy's ability to track subsequent actions or react to the missile assault. Would this surprising turn of events be the catalyst for a pivotal shift in the battle? What other secrets lay hidden in that compound, waiting to be uncovered? In an unexpected twist of fate, our forces were on the brink of launching a precision strike against a masked command center, believed to be concealing a massive underground arsenal for the enemy. This objective had been meticulously chosen, with intelligence suggesting it could cripple a significant section of the front lines. But moments before the attack, disaster loomed as drone operators uncovered shocking discrepancies. What they thought was a legitimate target turned out to be a clever ruse designed to waste valuable missile resources. The deception was almost flawless, until our scouts' analytical prowess revealed the truth. As the countdown to destruction ticked away, the intense pulse of adrenaline drove every operator to verify one more time. Their mission, to deliver a high-accuracy blow, seemed precarious. It became evident, what appeared to be armored vehicles were mere wooden facades draped in camouflage netting. The sight was surreal, nothing was moving, not even a hint of warmth emanated from engines. Instead of chaos and readiness, silence enveloped the supposed command center. Were they truly prepared for an attack, or had they anticipated our every move? Suddenly, a glimmer of hope broke through the clouds of deception. The operators spotted unusual activity in a different sector a few dozen kilometers away. Could this be the real target? This new lead revealed heavy concentrations of troops and supplies, an intricate network in the throes of logistics. The confirmation from field sources linked these movements to recent deliveries from enemy allies, suggesting this was precisely where our strike should land. With barely a moment to spare, the decision was made: divert the attack. The stakes had never been higher. It felt like playing a game of chess, each move fraught with tension and uncertainty. The original plan was discarded, and a new one hastily assembled. The urgency to reprogram the guidance systems intensified. This mission had transformed from one of complacency to a harrowing race against time. As drones prepared for strike, specialists ignited a tactical ploy. They masked our preparations with false radar signatures, clouding the enemy's perception. Would this audacious ruse hold, or would it plunge us back into chaos? Anticipation crackled in the air, heavy and thick, as the fate of operations swayed precariously in the balance. In the chaos following our strike, the enemy's response became disarrayed. They realized their security assumptions had been breached but struggled to comprehend the extent of their losses. Their efforts to mislead us had backfired spectacularly. Instead of orchestrating a robust counteraction, they floundered, trying to mask the damage while scrambling to regain control. Would they manage to recover from this turmoil, or were they destined for failure? Within hours, signals flooded in, confirming the extensive destruction wrought by our precise attack. Not only had we annihilated stockpiles of munitions, but cutting-edge experimental technologies lay in ruins, tools the enemy had yet to deploy in battle. Their very operational future was being swept away in a single, decisive blow. Could they withstand this catastrophic blow to their preparations? As our intelligence agents pieced together the fallout, it became clear that the enemy's logistical networks had been irrevocably disrupted. The pressure mounted on their command as they struggled to regroup and redirect their resources. With whispers of internal conflict within their ranks regarding new supply routes, it was evident that our operation had achieved more than tactical success, it had sown seeds of chaos in their strategic framework. How would they alter their plans with the fabric of their entire battle strategy frayed? This intricate dance of deception, critical recovery, and the unexpected cascading effects of warfare amplified our understanding of the human element in modern conflict. With every step we took, it became apparent, success in the battlefield hinges not solely on technology, but the sharpness of human insight and decision-making. Before we dive in, imagine trusting your most advanced weapons, only to find out the enemy tricked you with a fake target. Could overconfidence in technology lead to disaster? Today's story reveals a battlefield deception that almost cost dearly, until sharp minds and drones changed the game at the last second. Earlier, we saw how chaos gripped the enemy command after losing a vital supply hub. This collapse forced them to scramble for new strategies. Our sudden change of target and strike on the real depot became a case study in modern warfare. But what truly won the day wasn't just the technology, human insight played the starring role. Even with cutting-edge drones and precision missiles, the decisive factor was teamwork between analysts, drone operators, and electronic intelligence experts. Hours before impact, a final data check uncovered the enemy's trick. Without their sharp evaluation of satellite images, heat signatures, and intercepted radio signals, the entire mission might have wasted precious missiles on a decoy. One surprise stood out: a missile designed decades ago but refurbished with a state-of-the-art electronic control system landed the strike with pinpoint accuracy. This revelation? It's a game changer. Instead of pouring resources into mass-producing new arms, updating older rockets could boost firepower with less strain on manufacturing. This approach matters even more when factories face limits. Defense engineers, inspired by this success, are now exploring how to scale these upgrades. It's efficient, smart, and above all, saves lives and resources. The enemy gambled on disinformation, staging a convincing command center filled with fake vehicles and jamming signals to fool our reconnaissance. But thanks to our specialists' vigilance, the falsehood was exposed. Drones spotted no real activity, heat sensors detected no engine fires. This saved us from a costly blunder and let commanders reroute the strike toward the true supply complex. Recognizing such deception is a stern lesson. Enemies don't just fight with firepower, but with cunning illusions that challenge even the best tech. Our victory showed the vital need for careful analysis and the power of skilled human judgment. What if the enemy had succeeded in fooling us? Would the war front have shifted drastically? This moment on the battlefield proves that in war, brains can sometimes outmatch bullets, and every sensor needs a sharp mind behind it. In a dramatic turn of events, intelligence operations became the heartbeat of a critical mission. The absence of real activity at a suspected enemy base led our forces to avoid costly errors. This incident highlighted the adversary's willingness to employ intricate deception tactics, a profound lesson in military strategy that demanded acute analytical skills. Drones equipped with high-resolution cameras and thermal imaging played an invaluable role, revealing presence of decoys and bizarre anomalies that screamed trap. Without this detailed aerial reconnaissance, commanders might have fallen prey to misinformation and fired upon a mere illusion. Fortunately, these unmanned aerial vehicles uncovered the true storage complex that became the new target. Field intelligence sources proved more precise than satellite imagery, confirming the strategic significance of the facility and the recent influx of supplies. This critical information empowered the leadership to switch their focus effectively. The success of the operation illustrated that human intelligence remains essential, despite technological advances. While satellite views provide a broad picture, human sources deliver the fine details that machines cannot capture. The strike on the storage complex reverberated beyond mere material losses, yielding a psychological blow to the enemy. The obliteration of a pivotal supply hub shattered their confidence in deceptive tactics. Intelligence reports revealed a marked decline in their use of decoys, indicating that their strategy had been pierced. Chaotic attempts to create distractions and regroup forces hinted at turmoil within enemy ranks. This psychological impact offered us another advantage, pressing them to reconsider their defensive and logistical approaches. However, the destruction of their supply base unleashed a serious logistical crisis on the opponent. Intercepted communications detailed the cancellation of multiple planned operations due to shortages of ammunition and fuel. Their supply schedules were disrupted, severely constraining their operations across various sectors of the front. Desperate times drove the enemy to explore alternative supply routes, yet these options required time and agility. Would the enemy manage to organize sufficient resources swiftly enough to recover? Or would their newfound vulnerabilities leave them floundering at a critical juncture? The tension mounted, with both sides teetering on the edge of a decisive shift in the tide of battle. In the previous segment, we explored the aftermath of a significant loss for the enemy, which forced them into a state of resource scarcity. This setback limited their operational capabilities across various fronts. As a result, they began to seek alternative supply routes and sources. However, these alternatives demanded time and resources, putting them in a precarious position. The collapse of the enemy's supply depot created a critical window where their operations were hampered by a shortage of ammunition and fuel. In the chaos, new methods of camouflage emerged, revealing the adversary's reliance on deception. Dummies of military machinery covered with netting and advanced electronic jamming indicated that they were actively enhancing their subterfuge tactics. This experience prompted our command to reassess intelligence practices, emphasizing the need for meticulous target verification in the future. Analysts swiftly began developing innovative methodologies to expedite the identification of decoys. This included utilizing more sophisticated thermal imaging systems and software capable of detecting unnatural materials through artificial intelligence technologies. The adaptability of our command structure proved crucial. Rapid decision-making in the face of immediate threats preserved vital resources and dealt a significant blow to the enemy. Redirecting the strike to the true supply complex, after having prepared to attack a false target, required seamless coordination across all levels of command. The efficient reprogramming of missiles, close cooperation with drone operators, and scrutiny of intelligence data showcased our command's ability to navigate an evolving landscape of conflict effectively. However, this operation also disclosed future risks. The adversary undoubtedly learned from their failure and would likely devise even more intricate disinformation strategies. Intelligence assessments suggest they might intensify their camouflage efforts, employing more realistic decoys or blending dummies with actual equipment to create a believable front. This scenario underscores the imperative for our intelligence agencies to remain vigilant and responsive. Analysts are already at work on new target verification techniques, integrating data from diverse sources while leveraging AI to detect anomalies, preparing for the challenges that lie ahead. A shocking truth remains: how will we react when our own tactics face a formidable metamorphosis? The battlefield evolves, turning deception into a weapon, a tension that shapes our fate. Will we outthink their cunning, or will we fall prey to their next scheme? The clock is ticking. Battles are a symphony of chaos, each note a clash of wills, as the unpredictable dance unfolds. This time, our forces prepared to strike a masked command post of the enemy, a strategic target estimated to cripple an entire front. Hours before the assault, drones soared above the target, but what they uncovered was an unsettling revelation. As military analysts shifted their attention, it became clear the enemy had orchestrated a clever decoy, hoping we would waste our precious rockets on mere illusions. Despite their ruse, our scouts diligently scrutinized every detail. Just before initiating the strike, their suspicions intensified. Vehicles on the ground seemed too pristine, parked like relics in a museum, lacking the wear and tear of battle. And then came the twist: the tanks and trucks were mere shells, carved from wood and draped in camouflage. This discovery propelled us into a whirlwind of urgency. What could have been a catastrophic misstep was transformed into a rallying call. As our commanders convened in a tense meeting illuminated by flickering screens and the acrid smell of electric tension, they realized the enemy's true asset lay elsewhere. The reconnaissance teams, relentless in their pursuit, soon detected unusual activity in a different sector. Images began to emerge of what appeared to be an active supply hub brimming with trucks, ammunition, and, most crucially, the resources that kept the enemy's war machine humming. With time dwindling, strategic decisions had to be made. The groundwork had been laid for an attack, but as fresh intelligence flooded in, a risky pivot was necessary. Deliberate programming adjustments had to occur while ensuring the element of surprise remained intact. Seconds felt like eternity as strategists raced against time to reassign targets, reprogramming rocket systems while deploying attack drones. The trap had been laid. Misinformation flooded the channels, creating false signals that ensnared enemy defenses, luring them away from the real target. Then came the onslaught. Drones, designed to dismantle critical radar stations, skittered through the skies like spiders, their precise munitions crippling enemy defenses. Following this, an unexpected volley of missiles cascaded toward the actual site of operations, a storied warehouse complex. Among those missiles was an antiquated model, a relic from the 90s, reborn with a new electronic guidance system. The integration of modern technology enabled it to strike accurately, akin to the most advanced munitions of today. The result? A catastrophic explosion, a reverberation that rattled the earth and sent shockwaves through the enemy camp. The consequences exceeded every expectation. Explosive blasts triggered a chain reaction, igniting fuel tanks and stockpiles that unleashed fire across the battlefield, engulfing warehouses, and descending into the underground chambers that harbored vital supplies. Resources earmarked for future operations turned to ash, a treasure trove for the enemy turned to ruin. As the smoke settled and the echoes of destruction faded, intelligence reports poured in. The enemy's advanced weaponry, a sophisticated arsenal supplied by their allies, had been obliterated. Their expectations of a seamless operation shattered, they scrambled for a response. But what was meant to be a diversion had spiraled into calamity. In the aftermath, the true nature of chaos emerged. A complacent adversary staggered beneath the weight of their blunders, scrambling to salvage what was left. The illusion of control dissipated, leaving behind an unmistakable scent of desperation. What would their next move be, or had they already lost too much? Time would unveil the answers. Previously, precision drones had crippled enemy radar and detection systems. Their strikes shattered critical infrastructure, clouding the adversary's ability to track incoming missile attacks. Yet, the story was far from over. Next came a missile barrage. Among these was a surprising weapon, a missile designed in the 1990s, now resurrected with a cutting-edge electronic guidance module. This fusion of old hardware and modern tech turned an aging rocket into a surgical instrument, hitting targets with accuracy rivaling the newest models. Engineers watching this success knew the future. Upgrading existing stockpiles could save immense resources, avoiding the costly rush to produce entirely new weapons. Intelligence sources later revealed the aftermath was devastating. The combined strikes triggered massive explosions in the enemy's ammunition depot. Flames swallowed fuel tanks and ammo crates, then surged into underground vaults housing strategic cargo. The scale of destruction exceeded all expectations. This warehouse had been freshly stocked, signaling preparations for imminent enemy offensives. But those supplies never left. The enemy's logistics chain was shattered before it could even mobilize. Damage wasn't limited to surface buildings. Subterranean passages and storage facilities were also gutted, making any quick repair impossible. Further analysis uncovered something even more alarming. The destroyed stockpile included advanced weaponry secretly delivered by enemy allies. These were not ordinary arms. Among the wreckage lay multiple rocket launchers, anti-tank systems, portable surface-to-air missile units, and their specialized ammunition, equipment classified and absent from public reports. Losing these assets was a crippling blow to enemy plans. These cutting-edge weapons were meant to tip the scales in future battles but instead were lost before deployment. The strike effectively stalled their ability to conduct complex operations. The enemy's reaction was chaotic. Their gamble on a decoy target to waste precious missiles had failed spectacularly. Rather than regroup and retaliate, they scrambled to conceal the real damage, flooding the airwaves with interference to hide the truth. But the damage was done, disarray and confusion had taken hold. Could a relic missile with a new brain become the instrument that changed the course of this confrontation? What consequences would ripple through the enemy ranks after such a devastating loss? The next phase of this unfolding saga promises answers.